Hello, everyone, and welcome to Roll With It, another podcast within a podcast from your friends at iCast Fireball. This one specifically is where we explore the improv of actual play and break down the method behind our madness. I'm Josh, your host and Dungeon Master for this improvised bonus show. Joining me today is the lanciest of Thalens, the maxiest of Shans, none other than the rollinest of Jacobs.
Roll with it. Hello.
How you doing, Jacob?
I'm good, doing well.
Awesome. It always feels weird being this, even when I'm the guest on these, it always feels weird with the other three aren't here.
Oh yeah, it's like, hey, it's like a secret meeting before the real show.
Don't tell Ned. So Jacob, tell me, this is going to be all about improv. I'll explain real quick. Each episode of Roll With It, the guest and I will jump into a scene of D&D, which neither of us have prepared for whatsoever, followed by a discussion of the art and rules of improv. Jacob, what's your history with improv?
My history with improv is I did it for over 4 years. Really starting in college. That's where Ned, Thomas, and I have a very similar background because we started with the same group. At different times, though. Thomas, technically the first, and then I joined up the group when Thomas was actually on a sabbatical from college. He was doing a mission for his church, and I was in the group, and then he showed back up, and I'm like, who's this little skinny blonde white boy? But no, he was great.
There aren't a bunch of those in your guys' college?
For skinny blonde white boys? I mean, not gonna lie.
In Utah.
Not gonna lie, there's a certain demographic. I was not one of them, though. I was a short, stubby, balding, brown-haired boy.
Oh man, it was already leaving you in.
Yeah.
You listen, when life does you dirty like that, you learn to improv.
I served a mission as well for my church, and I was losing my hair while there, and I went, "Come on, God, I'm doing you a favor here. What's going on?"
Oh man. No. Yeah, I'm inundated with it. I'm the inverse. There's hair everywhere. I'm finding hair in my ears, hair in my nose, and I'm 36, so it's it's just popping up, man. It's on my back.
Showing it
what's
everywhere.
going on? It's just everywhere. Very hairy, very very hairy. But yeah, so you gotta start off without any Thomas influence.
Yes, correct. I was doing it for about 2 semesters of college. It was through a theater improv troupe for the college. They would even have a class that you would attend, and then you would do practices, just on your own, and shows on your own as well. Through the college, it was a really cool experience because it wasn't just a troupe of people getting together. It was an educational setting for it, which I found really helpful.
Yeah, you were learning and practicing.
Yes, it was very much an on-the-job training, but yet also diving into really the philosophies behind it, which really helped to build your foundation than just... Because often, this gets a little... Sometimes with improvers who just start right away into it, and which is fun and great, but you can pick up bad habits quick. And this was through a class setting. You were able to talk about this is what creates the best situation for improv. And you were able to study it together, which was really helpful.
Dude, okay, right on. All right, now, not that I feel like this is you, because I don't feel like you're the sort of person that, studies people and keeps records of stuff that, you see. But I'm fairly new to this aspect of improv. If there was opportunity for me to build bad habits, I absolutely had it. I'm curious, and not to have a moment where you have to think critically of me, but if you were to give me, before we jump into this improv scene, if you were to give me a note or a simple direction about avoid doing this or do that. You've seen me, we've played a ton together. When you think about those bad habits, is there stuff you're I feel like I've seen Josh do this? And rather than pointing out the flaw, can you give me a direction that would push me toward away from it?
You have so many bad habits. No, I'm joking. I'm just joking. No, you don't. No, dude. I thought of one, which actually isn't something that you have, but I think it's a good one to mention for those who want to get into improv. Again, this isn't actually something that I think you're bad at all. I think you're actually good at avoiding this. bad habit, but it's the one that popped up first in my mind with improv. You got to go
Great.
go off the cuff.
I love it, man. The from the mouth,
Yes.
the heart speak.
The one that popped in my mind first is actually don't set your own agenda for the scene. Meaning you can bring all your ideas, like ideas are welcome, but if you have a direction that you feel determined you have to go to the detriment of anybody else's suggestion, it can lead to confusion for your partner, and it can lead to just tension that doesn't need to be there. I can think of an example of in college, in the improv troupe I was a part of. I remember being in a scene with my partner, and I was playing it to be basically like, hey, we're family, we're siblings. And this person was determined that we were part of the mob, which was great. Like, it started off as a good suggestion, like we're part of the mob. And we started going with it, and then as we kept going, the scene was developing to be like a very family relationship, but all they wanted to do was like focus on mob stuff. And it basically became any suggestion I added to it was, no, we got to focus on the deal. And it was like, well, okay, well, yeah, well, let's focus on the deal. Okay, well, what is mom going to think of this? Mom's dead. It's like, okay, well, that's not, okay.
Whoa.
It becomes
just
a form of
your
denial.
Mom. Like, that's
crazy. It becomes a form of denial because it's very much like, this is the agenda for what I want to happen. Like, I can think of another one where, again, in just my experience in that troupe, where there was another person and they were very much wanting, they loved to dive out relationships and stuff, which was a great thing, but they would never do action because of it. And an improv scene that doesn't have action connected to it, where you're actually having a plot, it becomes a lot of talking heads and it becomes very boring very fast. And that's what that scene became. And so that's the thing I think of is don't have an agenda. It's very easily felt by the audience that there's then a tension between the two because one is not really taking the suggestion of another and is driving the scene toward what they think. You have to, in improv, work on the fly, and you have to, the scene is so malleable that it has to have the trust between the two players.
I can think of times where I have struggled with that both as a dungeon master and as a player, improvising at the table. And it's marked by a very like awkward back and forth where it seems like it maybe even seems like there's emotional tension at the table, but it's basically just like two people trying to do a different thing. And and that's a good note. That's a good note before we jump in. I appreciate that.
And I think, can I say one more thing before we jump straight into it? I think it goes along with your thought.
Yeah, say as much as you want.
It creates some of the funnest moments in role playing, if you're going to the improv role playing side of it, is having moments of recognizing character flaws. Because you always, in D&D, I think that's also a struggle, is you always want your character to be the hero and be the right hero. Where it's like, you can definitely identify, and it creates a fun dynamic to show, yeah, I messed up. And then like it creates more bonds to be formed. And I think that's actually what we're finding in a lot of our cast recordings is we're finding those moments, and it actually helps our characters to be stronger.
Right on. I absolutely love that. I think that's dead on. Okay, so before we jump in, we have one kind of type of prompt. So to serve as our prompt, we have asked all of you listeners for memorable moments from tabletop games that you've had. We've asked you to submit them. I have one that is sitting in a DM message from Ned, because he's the one who gets them in the emails, and I avoid seeing them at all. I don't look at them because I want to stay clean. And so I've got the message from Ned here. I'm going to read it, and then that will serve as our only general prompt. It doesn't mean we have to improv that moment specifically, but it gives us a nice little like some things to think of as we jump into our improv scene. And if you would like to share a moment from one of your games for a future episode, you can go ahead and send it over to our email at icastfireball2020@gmail.com. So without further ado, Jacob, are you ready?
I will be ready because it's improv.
And finally, I get to clear my inbox and read this message from Ned. Okay. This one comes to us from Galen Hayes. We were in Chult. Okay, that's a D&D setting. It's very, I think jungly and like dinosaurs and and eldritch things going on. He says they were trying to find enough treasure to make up for the mosquitoes. As we pushed through the brush, our lycanthrope guide stopped suddenly. That was our only warning before a giant constrictor snake attacked us. We fought for a moment, but it didn't last long. Our cleric, either out of panic or out of frustration with the jungle, suddenly shouted, "Not," and cast command. The snake immediately curled itself into a good little Ouroboros, and we simply walked on, no longer in any special danger. We later learned that giant constrictor snakes can't, rules as written, understand common, and so the snake shouldn't have followed that command. From that moment on, though, in the campaign, the oldest, largest snakes could understand common, but not speak it. It had happened. The story had moved on, and so we had to listen to it. Okay, cool. That's a wild, fun encounter in the jungles of Chult. So, you ready, Jacob?
So, are you wanting us? Are we acting out this scenario, or just using it as inspiration?
Just using it as inspiration. We are not. We're not gonna like I mean, we can pull elements of it if we want.
Understand.
But it is not the crux of what we have to. We don't have to live out their moment. That feels trite to me. If tell us about your favorite moment, then we'll make it up and we'll make it funnier. That would feel awful. Okay, so Jacob, do you want to do the random character gen, or do you have an idea of like kind of a character you want to play?
I have an idea. Yes.
Okay, then let's roll. I have prepared nothing, so going in totally clean, and I don't have a plan. I'm not gonna make one. I don't got a place I need to go. All right, here we go. Jacob, you find your character in the woods, in the jungle of Chult. It's dense leaves. You can smell the earth almost like too intensely coming in through your nose. The trees are huge. There seems to be almost like a multi-level to this environment where it's the ground floor covered in moss and dirt and rocks and things that have been pushed aside and have grown under the canopy of the trees, and then almost like another world above in the branches and the leaves. And we'll say that it's maybe like it's golden hour, baby. Like lights are coming in through the leaves of the trees, casting this super cool, that kind of like marbled look of light and shadow that comes through trees, that kind of time of day. But yeah, it's getting ready to be nighttime. You're in the jungle. What do you do?
I will kneel down and pray to my god as a cleric of Sissy, the snake. The snake god.
A cleric of the Sissy
The one
snake.
who envelops our world and wraps us in her warmth. I will kneel down and pray to her for guidance of direction of where she would like me to go to find the hidden temple that I've been searching for the last 10 years.
Whoa. Okay. This is it's taking you a long time to get here.
It has.
This would go ahead and in your prayers with Sissy, have they often replied to you, or has that been a rarity?
Yes, but very much in whispered tones.
Got it.
A lot of hissing, and it's really hard to understand what it means.
Got it. Okay. Go ahead and roll for me a religion check and add a modifier that feels reasonable to you.
All right. Well, as a cleric, I'd probably be pretty good at religion. So I'm going to roll. That's a 6, and my modifier for that is 5. So that's an 11.
11. All right. You know what? When Ned played on Roll With It, I think his first roll was like an 11 or 12. Very mid, which informs me a little bit about what kind of god this is.
Can I role play it out, this prayer?
Please. Okay. Yeah.
My halfling, bald, kind of pudgy, 40-year-old-ish cleric, he'll kneel down and he'll just say,
Sissy, I would very much appreciate if you would hit me in the direction of your temple. Speak to me, please.
Hey, this is your god. Oh man.
This is a new development.
I'm wrapped around the whole world. It's a lot right now. What do you need?
Hello. This is It's the first time you've responded to me this way. I'm a little...
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a little shaken up.
Okay. Are you putting on the lisp? I don't mean to be insensitive.
No.
You don't have to.
No, I was...
A lot of people think they need to.
No, I was
a giant snake.
I was born this way.
My name's Sissy. It feels a little cruel
I know.
that you're serving a god with this many S's.
I was born this way, and all the kids made fun of me back in the town I grew up, and I felt like I just bonded with the snakes that were there.
Listen, say no more. I'm gonna curse them all. It's gonna take my head a minute to get there, but I'll just eat them up.
We became really good friends.
You can just...
Okay. Sure. Whatever you will.
That's not what you're...
Whatever you will.
That's not what you... No,
Your will be done.
Look. No, it's all good. It's all good. My will, of course, it will be done. But hold on. I'm just gonna take a break. I know you don't need me to eat those people and curse them. What's the prayer for? What's
I'm
going on?
trying to find your temple to shed your knowledge to the world of the enveloper.
All right.
I feel like more people would believe in you if they saw your ancient relics.
Okay. I'm not in that part of the... At least my head's not in the part... Hold on. Give me a second. I'm gonna...
Did I wake you up? It sounds like I woke you up.
No. I'm not the guy. I don't sleep.
Okay.
I'm always enveloping, always stretching. It's a lot. Listen, it's a lot. Okay. You're probably connected with me because you're close. Here, hold on. I gotta figure out where you are.
I'm
Okay.
close. This is excellent.
You have a magic symbol of mine?
I do. It's a snake tongue.
I need you to cast a healing ward over yourself real quick, because I'm gonna slam a piece of my body down to direct you in the path of the temple.
You didn't even ask me my name. Could I tell you my name, please?
No, I already know your name.
Good.
Your name is it's Sssylvessster.
Yes.
Right?
Sssylvessster.
Sssylvessster.
The S really hits the point there.
Knight of Sissy.
Oh, you got it. Oh,
Chivalric.
You do know me.
Sssylvessster, the chivalric knight of Sissy.
Oh my God. Ah,
yes. Yeah. Could you just say the whole name for me real quick, just so I make sure I got it right?
Sssylvester Stallone. Sssylvester Stallone.
Knight of chivalric knight of Sissy.
Of course,
right?
yes.
That's the title.
The Knight of Sssylvester. Yes.
Great. Okay, cool. Cast that spell.
Okay.
Go ahead.
He'll reach into his bag and he'll take out these rubber snake tongues that he had commissioned to be made, and they just wiggle around. It's like he almost found a snake toy and just ripped the tongue off of it.
Excellent.
To be his little
great
focus.
Go ahead and roll me a it's charisma, right, for clerics?
No, clerics are wisdom based.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a wisdom saving throw with advantage.
Ooh, advantage.
And whatever number you roll in for your
religion.
Your religion check, add 2 to it. Add a proficiency to it. You're especially good at this.
So that's going to be a 7 then, or adding 7 to a 12. So that's 19.
Okay, rock and roll. You listen. You start spinning your little tongues, and then all of a sudden, the the canopy all around you is flattened and pushed, and in a huge path, as if laid by a giant snake body slammed in front of you, is now creating a perfect road that winds to what looks like a small rectangular temple with beautiful snake architecture and vines wrapped all around it with a single opening.
This is so cool.
All right, hey, good luck. It's been a while since I've been there, so maybe somebody did something to it, but I gotta go.
I thought you said you don't go anywhere. You just wrap around.
I'm constantly moving.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I didn't mean to question you, your holy Sith.
All right, cool.
Go.
And you feel his presence dissipate. But
okay.
yeah, you do feel like maybe a little blessing, like you connected with your god.
He will put the little snake tongues back into his bag, and he will reach up, and around his neck there's actually a little snake, a little garden snake. Yep.
What is the name of Sylvester's snake?
Sylvester's snake is named Seth.
Seth? Excellent.
Yeah.
We're almost there, Seth. We're almost there.
All right, yeah, Seth. Very, very overjoyed by just how your happiness is Seth's happiness. Curls up, and you make your way to the temple.
Yes, I will make my very speedily as a halfling can.
Okay, and your goal here is to uncover the temple. Is that right?
Yes, I'm trying to find relics from the temple because this snake god has kind of been forgotten. Let's be honest, Sssylvessster, he might have actually made him up and didn't realize he was a real god until he started hearing about this ancient snake temple that he's been looking for 10 years. And that's why he's been looking, because he always imagined when he was made fun of as a kid, he wanted to connect with something. Snakes hiss. His lisp is a little off with that. And so he was always affinity to snakes. And then 10 years ago, just going through the world, he heard about this ancient snake temple at a tavern of some adventuring party stumbling across it. And he's like, that's my guy right there. And he devoted his life to it. And so he has been looking for this to find his god officially and to try and let the world know about it.
All right. Are you making your way triumphantly towards the temple?
He's very happy.
All right.
He's very happy.
Then, because of this, you're overjoyed. You just saw a huge display of power from your god. You're making your way to the temple. Unfortunately, the slamming of the canopy all around you did disturb the area, and you hear the thud, thud, thud of some massive creature now coming toward you. And there's some other maybe screeches. And the sun has gotten fairly low.
As he hears this thudding, he knows he's in a jungle. I would feel that as a cleric of a snake god, he has speak with animals somewhere in his repertoire.
For sure.
So he will cast
speak with animals.
And he will cast it to see if he can communicate to this thing before it tries to kill him, if it does.
Do you make your way toward the temple still, or are you waiting for whatever this thing is to come to you?
He's gonna cast that, but he's gonna run.
Great.
He's gonna run toward the temple as much as he can. But he also knows he's super slow because he's a little guy. He's got little feet. He can't really be the speedy guy.
As you're running towards the temple, a whole host of different creatures are rushing through the jungle beside and ahead of you now, because they're just faster than you by quadrupedal. They're making their way. Mm-hmm. You just hear you see what looks like a kind of a tiny triceratops looking type creature, a little thinner and kind of just running and goes, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, and it just runs past you. There's a bunch of little kind of wildly feathered, two-footed, bird creatures that are running there, just going like what's going on? I don't know what's going on. And so we'll say the little birds are probably a little closer to you. They're not they're running about a similar pace to you as all these other creatures are running. You're just hearing, shouts of alarm and uncertainty from all of them now that you can understand.
I just imagine Jurassic Park, where they're running through the field with all those running dinosaurs next to them, and they're looking up, and they're like, ah.
Does anybody see Jeremy? Does anybody see Jeremy?
Yeah.
They're yelling for each other and running and scared. Yes. Do you choose to talk to any of them as you're running, or?
They seem pretty focused on getting away, so he will try and get away too. I don't want to stop and hey, let's have a chat. So he will run with them. You know what he's going to try and do? He's going to try and, on one of the smaller creatures,
I'm gonna try and hitch a ride.
And he's gonna try and jump on one of the maybe smaller dinosaurs that's running past and say,
excuse me, you could get there faster than me, please help.
There are some pretty big cat creatures as well, if you wanted to try and hop on one of them. Maybe look a little tougher, less scaly. Okay, roll me. You can choose either animal handling or acrobatics.
I feel like he'd be better at acrobatics.
Probably.
Because he's probably...
You know what? It would be athletics. I apologize. It would be athletics.
Athletics?
Yes.
Oh, he's not going to be good at either. So I think this is going to be maybe a +2 max to what he's going to try and do.
All right.
I'm going to do animal handling because I think that's wisdom-based, if I'm remembering correctly. And I do have wisdom as a cleric. So that'll give me, let's say, +3, because I'm not proficient in animal handling. Even though Seth, my snake, I can handle him well. Natural 20.
Excellent. Seth goes,
Sylvester, I'm scared. Oh my God, we're talking. Yes, of course. Speak with animals. We'll be okay, Seth. Just hang on. I'll do my best. That's all I could ever ask for. I trust you.
all right.
Oh, thank you.
I love their beautiful relationship, those two.
It is. It's great.
All right. You perfectly, masterfully leap. It's Legolas jumping on the horse from behind him. You know what I mean? You hop on top of this tiger or jaguar
That's a
or
skill.
with its huge teeth, and it goes. Why is everybody running?
I don't know, but go toward that temple.
The dark hole in that little structure there?
Yes, it's safe, I guarantee it.
Okay, you jumped on me with so much confidence. I'm with you, man.
I'm fully confident in my God.
Interrupted, as you guys are making your way towards the gate, you just hear, "It's dinner time!" And a huge T-Rex comes rushing through into the clearing.
No.
It's going, "Dinner time, dinner time!" And then you make it into the cave with your two animal friends. The tiger continues running. I had thought it'd be funny to have you encounter booby traps in here. However, perhaps we will have to figure out whatever would happen up to our friend Sssylvessster the next time we do this game, because as you enter, the cat creature steps on a plate and the door slams behind you and you're left in the dark, unknowing what's inside.
Good golly.
That's it for this. Wow. That was fun, man. That was super fun.
That was. I was not expecting to go a lisp route, but that's what came out, baby.
I got such a kick out of because I was initially thinking I've got to play the snake super lispy, and when you did it, I was like, I don't want everybody to be lispy. So
I like how you're the guy. It sounds like he was sitting on the couch and hadn't been prayed to in like eons, and then he's like, wait, crap, hey, wait, what's going on? Okay.
When you pray to him, you said he encompasses and envelops the world. I was like, that's a lot of stretching. He's probably kind of...
At least that's what the legend says, so maybe he's just sitting on his couch, stretched out. He's like,
oh gosh, yeah,
he caught me after a workout. Oh my gosh.
Definite possibility. Jacob, that was super fun, man. If I felt more confident, maybe I could improvise the actual temple itself. But the interactions were excellent to me. Yes. And oh my gosh, what an adorable pair, Seth and
Seth and Sssylvester.
Thanks for letting me name you, by the way.
Yeah. Can I say my name? You're like, I got it. I'm like, all right, you got it. Go for it. And I love how you picked an S name. I was like, yes, that's what I wanted.
Oh, I had to. The Sssylvessster, the chivalric knight of Sissy.
Well, then you're like, say your full name. And I'm like, well, I mean, I could make of a last name, but it's perfect to have another S last name. And I'm like, that's Sylvester Stallone right there.
Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, excellent. Man, that was super fun. Okay, so now is the portion of our show where we dive in a little bit deeper into improv itself as the art form. And I don't know if I said this up top, but I'm sure I've mentioned it in our show, in the iCast Fireball, Skulls and Shackles. I am least versed in improv of all of you. All of my experience is just been at really public speaking, which is kind of an improv thing, improvisational experience if you've ever done that, and then lots and lots of D&D and podcasting.
Whose line is it anyway? Any dedication watching that show?
I watched it all the time as a kid.
There you go.
Watched it with my parents.
That's
We
improv.
played Whose Line games constantly.
Oh, yeah.
My brother and I were always a hit at the wrap your arms behind your back and do a task with the other person pretending to be your arms. Love that stuff. Yeah, that's probably my history with it. But what's I know we talked about at the top about the idea of not being so dedicated to accomplishing A, B, C, or D as you're going into the improv. Is there a rule within improv that you'd like to kind of look at particularly? Or you think it'd be good for our listeners to hear that maybe they may not know?
I think me and you did it pretty well in the beginning of the scene. One of my favorite rules that helps establish right away a good scene is as fast as you can. In the first, the goal, we would even have warm-up games where we do it in less than 5 to 10 seconds. Establish the who, the what, and the where. Who are you, where are you, and what are you doing? And part of that also is the relationship that's going on to that as well. So not just who, my name's John, but if there's two partners, it's to establish a scene right away, you're all right, Billy, we're finally here, at the boom, right there, even just saying those two things, I've established who, I've given a name at least, I've established where we are, or I could even, if I really wanted to, and it feels odd because people don't do this in real life, but it helps an audience get right away where I'm all right, Billy, we've been best friends for 10 years, and we finally made it to the video game convention that we've always wanted. Right there, even a 5-second thing, I've given my partner who we are, I've given where we are, and then either I could go to the next step, the who, what, where. He could then maybe say the what of what we're doing there. We wanted to get to this video game convention, and then my partner can be and we finally get to play Halo 67, or whatever, it might be. And doing that in the first 10 seconds helps you build the rest of the scene, because it's awful to not have one of those pieces of information and then you want to set it so clearly for the audience. So I love that rule of establishing the who, the what, and the where as fast as possible.
Right on. That was great. I'm just putting together. Did you pick cleric because cleric was mentioned in the prompt?
I did.
Is that you know what's funny is I didn't realize that at first. I was just okay, this is a fun setting. Probably we'll throw some snakes in, and you did a lot of that. All right, that was great, man. There was a moment, and maybe you've experienced this role, our improvising on stage, where I'd set the whole scene for you. I was here you are. You figured out who you are, and then in my head I was I don't know what you're doing in here, and I was a little bit kind of grasping in my head at why is he in the jungle? And then you came up with that looking for the temple. I think I stopped and just asked you because I was if I just make it up, it's going to be terrible.
What are you doing here?
I can't think of anything. So I tossed it to you, and you very beautifully came up with that excellent objective.
Yeah. I mean...
is that a regular where you find yourself desperate for more information and you go to your partner?
You do. It's something as an improver you want to avoid if it puts the burden too much on your partner, meaning you're not giving a lot. I'll use the video game example. All right, Billy, if I said all right, Billy, what are we doing here? That puts a lot on why did I even start the scene if I'm just giving it to them to do it? I've given them a name, which is at least nice. They know who they are. But you don't want to throw that their way unless you've already built them a path that they can naturally take. Again, if I'm all right, Billy, we finally made it to the video game con that we've been waiting 10 years to get to. Oh my gosh, what are you going to do first? Then that's a great thing, because then you've established where we are. You've established we're excited apparently about being here, and we're friends. So now I'm going to give it to you to establish what we're going to be doing for this. Are we going to be hunting for that special, video game edition? Are we going to be... That's a good setup for a question. Just asking a question right away. I remember a very easy, fun game for improv is called Freeze, where you have two people in a scene, you're acting something out, and then someone says freeze, and you're frozen, and the other person switches you out, and whatever action you're doing, you start a whole new scene with that action.
That pose.
And I remember when you're an improver, you have some of your funnest times seared in your memory, and you have some of your worst times seared in your memory. And
they stick.
It was one of my first shows ever doing, and we were doing Freeze. And I remember I came in, and we were I think they froze this eventually. They had their hands up, kind of above their eyes. They weren't looking out somewhere, but they were doing something where their hands ended up above their face. And I got up there with my scene partner, and I just said, "What do you see?" And to me now, and they played it great, and they were a great partner to it. But I remember literally from that moment on, I was idiot in my head because I was like, I didn't give them anything when I asked them that question. Like, I literally, basically, that's me saying, I don't know, what do you want to do? Like, it was like, I hated that so much, and it ingrained it into my mind. Don't start with a basic question, because it doesn't add. I haven't given them anything, and I've put now the entire burden on them to do it. Yeah.
Yep. Now, okay, so I break this rule regularly, but if I'm being honest, it's usually because of the people I'm playing with that I know are gonna like do something hilarious, and so it often I'll toss it to somebody and be like, here you go, like, what do we, I find myself doing that out of a sense of like comedic trust, I suppose, but that's very different than I think off cuff, just like panicking or unwittingly dumping exposition on somebody.
And it also depends on sometimes, again, like I said, sometimes questions are good. They add to it. Like, again, my example of my terrible, I feel like it was terrible, is like, what are we looking at, or what do we see? There's nothing given. But if my question, if I start out the scene and I just say, what the heck are you doing here? It's a question, but I've set the tone. We are enemies. We're mad. There's some tension between the two. So it's okay to do questions.
Yes.
It's just you want to give your scene partner as much as you can before their turn into the improv, if you will. And
it's a potluck. Set the table so that it looks nice when they bring their soup to play Halo, apparently.
Halo 67.
Yeah, of course. Why not 67? Awesome, man. Rock and roll. This was great. Any other like thoughts about any thoughts on improv and the game of role play of D&D?
I would just say, again, improv is such a good skill if you want to have role-playing focused D&D. That being said, you have to know the people you're playing with. Some people want to play the game just to play the mechanics of the game. And you gotta make sure that you are setting it right. And even those who like role-playing, and I think everybody in our group loves the role-playing aspect of D&D, you can even tell in our group where we're like, we gotta get to something. We gotta get to some action. Because
there's the bit of that, like, I could sit and talk to characters every single episode, but I think we need to fight somebody.
Well, and it gets to the principle of talking heads. It's great to talk in Dungeons and Dragons, but it can really result in no action. And same in improv. You could talk a lot about the relationship between the two characters of the scene, but if something's not happening, it can get so boring so fast. I will share this, and I'm going to shout out John Ryman, who, if you've watched the Fizz Band extra episodes, you know who he is, because he's part of our Fizz Band Patreon exclusive video side quest. He had one of the best scenes I have ever seen in improv, and it was the funniest simple setup because it focused on a relationship, but the action was clear, where their suggestion was like vampire hunter. That was it, and it was him and a woman who was a scene partner, and they were like, vampire hunter, go. And John and her stood back to back, and John started pretending to load a gun. And he's like, so you don't want to go to the movies Wednesday night? And she goes, no, we've done that every date night. But then as they're talking, they're, well, I think that it would be a great way to be, and the action was happening where they're killing vampires who are attacking them. Dude, and they would even like pause throughout, and they're like, this is you are so much like your mother, watch out. And like and it was the funniest scene I had ever witnessed, and it was like, it didn't even last a minute because it was just a warm-up game we were doing, but I died because it helped so much in having an action, but you could still focus on a relationship build. And it was so good. So I think with improv is great for D&D, but don't forget the action, because oftentimes, as we've seen in a lot of our battles, the action can lead to some character realizations, some character development, and ways to grow from it. So don't get stuck in just the talking heads, because especially for those who they might not know the role-playing aspect of it all, we want to support all aspects of it. And you'd be surprised where you can find some of your best moments in the areas that you didn't think you would be as jazzed about when you're playing D&D.
100%. Jacob, thank you for sharing those improv nuggets of gold and jumping on, rolling with it with me today.
Roll with it.
This was a blast, man. I think this is fun. We'll have. I can't wait till we come back around the horn to do this again
For sure.
with you. I'm very, it's been so long since I did the first one with Ned. I love being blind on the prompt. That was so much fun. Just getting to read it and not knowing what I was doing. And there's sometimes people show up to the table unprepared on accident. And it's kind of nice to do it on purpose. Thank you, Jacob, for joining me, and thank you, everyone, for listening. We hope you enjoyed this podcast within a podcast, this episode of Roll With It. If you'd like to send us, like I said at the beginning, if you'd like to send us a game moment, a memorable moment for you from a tabletop gaming experience, you can go ahead and send that over to us, or any other email or message you'd like to share at icastfireball2020@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you, and we're hoping to get the word out there and set the podcast on fire. So until next time, I've been your impromptu host and dungeon master for this side podcast, and with me has been
Jacob. I play Max in our most recent campaign, and Lance Thalen in the last one, and I'm just excited to improv anytime I can.
Please remember to like and subscribe and share with your friends and fellow Ike adventurers. Let's keep the fire going. See you guys next time.
Roll with it.
All over the outro script. I was rolling in the outro script.